Hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Doing all right? Good, that's what I like to hear. And hello Emily, how are you doing today? I know you're doing well. So, I have this opportunity now to introduce all of you to Emily Jane Rothwell. Very smart, kind, creative, and fun-loving lady, the impressions I get. Someone I have come across on Twitter. So this would be another one of the individuals and another one of the Twitter accounts that I've come across. And based on the initial few impressions, it motivated me to do a little presentation. And this presentation is going to be a gift for Emily. And in this presentation, I'm introducing you to Emily Jane Rothwell through her Twitter account. First of all, let's find out who Emily Jane Rothwell is. And this is her Twitter bio from her profile. So she is a PhD student / writer, loves histories, real and imagined, books, art, myths, maps, lore, legends, fairy tales, spooky things, old places, lakes, and laughs. Kind, BLM, Ottawa girl. And she's born on April the 3rd. And she joined Twitter in the June of 2020. So now we know who Emily Jane Rothwell is. Now, at this point, I'll tell you what were the two options before me. And I could have done it either way, but I've chosen the way that I have. The first thing I had decided upon was to do a live recording going through her timeline on Twitter with some commentary. But then I decided, as I'm doing it now, having received the permission and gratitude already from Emily, that I will be using slides from her Twitter account. So there would be tweets that you will be seeing on your screen. And those tweets would serve to exemplify what kind of a Twitter account Emily has. What are the things she shares with everyone? Now, let me take you first of all to the point in time when I got the permission. Now, this was, according to, as you can see on your screen, some 20 hours ago. So I got in touch with her, and this is not the first time that I've interacted with her. I can't say that I've had conversations. No. A conversation is a different level where you engage with a person over an extended period of time. That's kind of rare on Twitter. But interactions, yes. But you can tell a lot from interactions with a person. So, using her Twitter handle, I left this message with her. Hey Emily, with your permission and knowledge, I'd like to someday make a short video about your Twitter account. I like how you've put these words and pictures together. Smiley face. And here's an example of what I've done earlier. Now here, this is a good opportunity for me to mention, there is already a YouTube video that I did as a gift for an author by the name of Kimber Silver. And the name of the story that I read was or is rather, Serendipita. Beautiful short story. Or it's also called a flash fiction. And, well, let me just continue reading here now that I've mentioned the example that I left with Emily. So she responded, "Hi SK, or do you prefer Sunny? I feel incredibly honored and flattered by this. What a kind gesture. Thank you, and I'd love that. That piece you did was beautiful." And then I think this is the first message I replied to this morning. "Sunny would be just fine. It would be my pleasure. When the video is done, hopefully in a day or so, please consider it as a gift. Glad you enjoyed the reading of Kimber's beautiful short story. She's a fine writer." And after this, I got a response from Emily, for which I haven't replied to her yet, but I'm thinking that this video, once it goes on to YouTube, would be the reply that I'd leave with her. She said, "I did indeed. Thank you so much, Sunny, for even thinking of doing this. It's such a sweet gesture. Have a lovely day, and deep thanks." And this is her interaction with me, but I am very sure that when you will visit her on Twitter and you will see how she interacts with others as well, you will find her to be genuinely the kind of lady as she comes across in this interaction. So that I will leave up to you, and I would very much encourage you to visit her on Twitter. Maybe I'll share with you a couple of other interactions I've had with her. And as far as I can recall, now this one that you'll be seeing on your screen, this was the very first interaction. But you will also see the kind of putting together of words and pictures that she is fond of doing. So this was on June the 3rd. And this is what she said: "Sending you off tonight with the stunning Owl by Lucy Grossmith. I love her work. I hope you all have a peaceful night. Good night, everyone." And as you can see, this is an absolutely beautiful work of art. But it's the genuineness. There is the selection of the artwork, of course. But there is the genuineness and kindness that comes through consistently over and over again. So this was my first interaction with her. Good night. It's a pleasure to behold the charming world you bring to Twitter. Thanks. That was truly my very first impression. Thank you for this very kind note, SK Sunny. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Have a lovely night. And I'll give you another example of my interaction with her. And this was on June the 14th. I loved the artwork. So appealing. And I might confess that I've seen a lot of artwork, but I don't particularly recall having seen these particular works of art. And also what she shared was something that I could learn from her. So it says, in the mid-18th century, when arranged marriages were more dominant, two female writers, de Villeneuve and de Beaumont, wrote Beauty and the Beast, a subtly feminist fairy tale in which agency and romantic love, not appearances or wealth, win the day. This is on Fairy Tale Tuesday. And there's a Twitter account by the name of Fairy Tale Tuesday. So she got a few responses. A lot of people shared this. But this is what I shared with her. This is so beautiful. It's good to remember that love and romance come from a place that those overly concerned with possessions and appearances can't visit. I love the spiritual nature of this tale and its appeal to higher human values. And after a while, she responded, "That's so beautifully said. What a lovely way to articulate that. Thank you, SK, and I agree." So these are the interactions I've had with her, and they're part of the reason why I was motivated to seek her permission to introduce all of you to her Twitter account. As I mentioned, this is a gift for her and a chance for you to know more about Emily and what she shares. So let's begin going through a few examples. Not necessarily in chronological order, but just a few examples that I picked. But you're definitely going to get an idea of who Emily is and what she shares and what her Twitter account is. If you don't already, you will now see those things, those qualities come through in the slides that I'll be sharing with you. So this is a vintage 19th century print, Margaret Tarrant, and an uncredited photo. So this is on Folklore Sunday. And I, again, will leave the link for every single tweet I'm visiting. And you can go to that tweet, but I'd rather hope that you would follow her and go through her Twitter account as soon as you get the opportunity. So what she shared: from childhood we love buttercups and their lore is rich. From the myth that they sweetened cow's milk to the tale of the miser who wouldn't give alms to the fairies, so they cut a hole in his coin purse and buttercups sprang from where his coins fell. This is new to me. And this is a chance to learn something about folklores. But you see, you get an opportunity to enter into a different kind of world. It's very childlike. It's fantasy. But then, even in these short messages, you learn a lesson, don't you? About a love for nature and trying to make some kind of mythical or fantastical sense of the world that is around us. And what a beautiful way to do that if you can build a story around it with some kind of a lesson in it, as in this case, what Emily has shared. And we'll look at another example. What example are we going to look at? Here, this is from June the 18th. Good morning, guys. Here's to embracing a beautiful, almost summer weekend for us all and taking in nature. Have a relaxing day, everyone. The artwork is by Walter Crane. Beautiful artwork. But I'll make an observation. It's beautiful for me to notice how Emily can go from something childlike, something so innocent, and then retain that and go to from a childlike person to someone younger, obviously in age, but more advanced than a child. So it's as if you can go through these messages and see a progression. You can learn a few things and you can find out the kind of person she is. That is a beautiful thing about Twitter. It is an excellent avenue for people to be creative and to express themselves in ways that others can benefit from. Emily comes across as someone who's genuine over and over again. Let's take a look at another one that would remind you of the pleasure of being a child. Sometimes children's books are the most profound. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. This is Marjorie William Bianco. The Velveteen Rabbit. Artwork is the first edition by William Nicholson. So again, in a short message, you can see that Emily reminds us, as she herself has kept her connection alive and thriving with childhood. And that's a beautiful thing to see. We should all be reminded of that time in our lives that never comes back again. And that is beautiful to see. Beautiful reminder for all of us. And now, may we conclude with this last tweet, which is her most recent one, in fact. And hopefully when she comes back, she'll have this surprise, this gift waiting for her. So she says, with this artwork, "Hi guys, I'm going to be offline for a couple of days, so I'll leave you with Our Friends, The Fox and the Robin by Joe Grundy. I'm cheering you all on for the week ahead. I'll see you soon." And that again is a beautiful, soft artwork. Immediately, if you take some time to look through, like in this instance, those small examples, like she mentions the fox and the robin, and you can see the flora, and the colors that are used in this particular artwork. Now, Joe Grundy, again, that would be an artist that you would find has a lot more artwork just like this. I might have visited the website of Joe Grundy at some time, probably 3 years ago, as far as I can recall. Beautiful artwork, beautiful message, and it's a way of saying things. So she could have just said, "Well, I'll be offline, see you later," but then to say it this way makes it so much better. Thoughtfulness, cheerfulness, and good wishes, benevolence coming through. And this is Emily Jane Rothwell on Twitter. I have, I believe, given you a good enough introduction to who she is, what she shares, and my encouragement to you would be one and one only. Do visit her on Twitter and find out more about this lady and more about what she shares. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everyone, for your time, your patience, your attention. Take care, and goodbye.